everybody. So this video is walk you guys through your final essay assignment for the course. And in this fourth unit, you guys read a number of texts from the Transcendentalism movement across different genres, and you've really had a full look at kind of how the American identity, or the so-called American identity, developed up through the start of the Civil War. So what I want you to do in this essay is you're going to use one or more of the themes of Transcendentalism discussed in this unit. You're going to analyze how that idea relates to one of the works that you read in this unit. So you're going to discuss both the movement and the work in detail, looking at how that work and the author fit into the larger historical scope of literature. So this is really a literary analysis essay, which also kind of takes into account the sort of historical context, because a lot of times with these authors, you really can't separate the author from the text itself. So, but the primary focus here is just looking at one of the central concepts of Transcendentalism and how it relates to or is shown through one of these texts. So where this is a little bit different than your previous essays is that you have choices on how you want to complete the final assignment here. So you can do a traditional 3 to 4 page essay. You'll include a bibliography or works cited, whichever you want to call it, as usual. If you would rather, you can also do a 10-minute video lecture. You'll also need to include a bibliography, but you'll upload that to YouTube and enter a public link for me to view. Or if you choose, you can do a 12 to 15 slide PowerPoint or Prezi, and you'll still obviously need to include a bibliography. In that case, you'll either upload the PowerPoint and submit it just like you would any document, or if you do a Prezi, you'll do the same thing as the YouTube link. You'll make it public and you'll submit the link for me to view. So the reason I'm doing this is because I want you guys to really present the ideas and the concepts in a way that is most comfortable for you. So if you're most comfortable doing the writing, please do that. You know kind of the expectations of the structure and the MLA and everything that's required. If you are someone who's more comfortable speaking than writing, I encourage you to do the video lecture. You'll still need to do a full preparation of it. I want to see, a clear organization of ideas, good understanding of the concepts. It will still have the same structure as any essay. You'll still have an introduction with the thesis idea. You'll still have a couple of main ideas for your sort of central concepts. You'll pull in specific quotes from the texts and from the outside sources to support your claims, and you'll have a conclusion. And the same thing applies to a PowerPoint or Prezi. It's just you're doing it in a slightly different format where you can use things like images and other ways of providing context to illustrate your concepts. So you do need to have at least 2 sources to support your analysis. These can be scholarly sources or they can just be regular sources from the web. The choice of sources is yours. Just make sure they are credible. As always, make sure it's things like PBS or history.com or biography.com if you choose to go non-scholarly. And again, the choice of topic and work is yours, so choose carefully. Again, this is a purposely broad topic, so you're going to discuss, the chosen concept of your own choosing with good, solid evidence from the text, regardless of which format you choose to ultimately submit this in. And then any outside evidence from credible sources needs to be pulled in as well. So again, pull in those quotes, show your audience what you're talking about, provide them as evidence to support your argument around whichever text you choose from this unit. So this, I call it an essay, but whichever format you choose to submit it in, this final assignment is due on Sunday, December 3rd at 11:59 p.m. And your bibliography and any written portions do require a standard MLA format. And then all presentations are checked through SafeAssign. So the PowerPoint and the essay will show through SafeAssign. They'll show through a SafeAssign report, just like a normal Word doc would. And then, of course, the video lectures and the prezzies is expected that, you do submit your own voice or writing, whatever you want to kind of call that. Make sure that you do meet the minimum, whatever the length is of whichever format you choose to do this in. And make sure you do have a fully developed argumentative thesis statement in whichever format. Good close analysis of the work and its concepts, major concepts. Good evidence and to support your claims from both the primary and secondary sources. Proper page length, MLA formatting, proper number of outside sources and citations, of course. And then a fully developed essay structure, regardless of which format you choose to do this in. So you should still have an introduction with the thesis, like I said, clear main ideas with evidence and analysis, and a conclusion. And then careful, clear organization of ideas. So just a few things to kind of keep in mind. If you do a video lecture, you're going to want to kind of sit down and have an outline, because when you start to film yourself, you may find that the time actually goes by much quicker than you realize. So do make sure you have a good, solid written structure to kind of follow. Make sure you have the points that you want to pull in, and that it's very concrete, clear, and organized. If you do a PowerPoint or Prezi, I do expect it still to have a fair amount of writing on it. What I don't want to see is, say, 2 or 3 bullets with 2 or 3 words each on a slide. That's not going to be really representative of the writing that's needed for this. I expect you to have, roughly the same amount of writing as you would as an essay. It's just in a different format. You have bullets, you have illustrations, you have pictures, you have things you can pull in to provide context. You can be a little more creative with the presentation style. So just keep that in mind. I still expect this to be a fully developed argument. And if you have any questions on this, let me know. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that this is due really at what is essentially the end of the course. And I'm going to be turning around the grades of these really quickly and having to submit them the next week. So there is no room for any missing assignments, for requests to make something up. And if it's not submitted correctly and it's not there, I will have nothing to grade. So if you submit your essay, you can resubmit as many times as is needed up until the deadline. But if you submit your essay, you need to make sure that you see it render on the screen. Resubmit it if you don't see it there. Because if there's nothing there, I have nothing to grade. Same thing with the videos. If you don't set your YouTube link that you enter and submit for me in the submission, if you don't set it to public, I will not be able to see it and I'll have nothing to grade. And it will become a 0 in that case, because there is no time to turn around and ask for you guys to resubmit or send me something, just because grades are due that week. And then same thing on the PowerPoint as the essay. Make sure you can see it render on the screen. If you can't see it, there's nothing for me to grade. So it'll be just like an essay. You'll be able to see it show on the screen, so make sure it's there. And with the Prezi, it's the same thing as the video lecture. Just make sure that it's a public link. Make sure that I can see it. Again, if it's not public, I can't see it, the link doesn't work, whatever it is, I have nothing to grade. So that is really all of the caveats that I can think of. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. This really is designed, as I said, to let you present the information in the way that is most comfortable for you. So choose whichever format you like. Just to reiterate, you only choose one. You don't need to choose more than one format. And I really look forward to kind of seeing what you guys produce. And let me know if you have any questions.